Hey everyone, look at these incredible headlines. A major EU bank just picked Ripple, and this is absolutely huge news. But wait, there's more. NASDAQ just announced they're launching tokenized stocks. The big question is, are they partnering with Ripple for this? Plus, I've got the XRP price predictions for this cycle that you've been waiting for. And trust me, there's tons more coming your way. Can you believe it? We've officially hit the $4 trillion cryptocurrency market cap milestone. The 100 and hey, we're back. Look at this. We just hit 4 trillion again. And that's huge news. We're sitting pretty at 1% up. Bitcoin's crushing at 112,800 plus. Ethereum's looking strong at 4,300 plus. And guess what? XRP just snagged that number 3 spot at $3.01. We're up 1% in the last 24 hours, but here's the kicker. We're up a whopping 8.8% over 7 days. Now check this out. That price range we're watching, it's dancing between 294 and 303. So definitely something to keep our eyes on. But guys, here's something you really need to know about. There's this massive attack happening on the JavaScript ecosystem right now, which means this could literally be sitting in your browser as we speak. This could be something serious. So here's what I'm getting from all this Crip and Writer stuff. They're basically screaming at us to stay super vigilant out there, like seriously vigilant. The golden rule, if something feels sketchy when you're about to click it, just don't trust your gut. Now here's my personal game plan, and maybe this will help you too. I'm all about that encrypted wallet life. And here's the thing, whenever I need to access my regular sites, I always go through my encrypted wallet links. Why? Because I know those links are bulletproof safe. It's like having your own personal bodyguard for your clicks. You know what I mean? Ripple just dropped some major news. RLUSD's next big move. It's happening in Africa, people. Now, look, I know we've talked about this before, but I really want to dive deep into this because I literally just had this exact conversation with someone the other day. Here's the thing. I know most of you watching are absolute legends. You're out here grinding every single day, every single minute, staying on top of everything that's happening. But guess what? We're getting hundreds, sometimes even thousands of new people joining our community every month. And that's just during the week alone. So when you think about it like that, we absolutely have to keep covering these major developments, right? This space is absolutely flying. Like, seriously. Things are moving so incredibly fast that we might just lose track of what's actually going down here. We're talking about RLUSD diving headfirst into a massive $5 trillion African market through Chipper Cash, Velar, and Yellow Card. Just let that sink in for a second. Now check this out. The GOAT DAI just dropped some serious data. XRP is sitting pretty at 14% weight right now. Back in April 2022, 0. Literally nothing. Mark my words, those Bitcoin and Ethereum dominance numbers are going to keep sliding down. Bank on it. Look at these Bloomberg Galaxy Crypto Index numbers for August 2025 targets. XRP just hit 14.1%. Meanwhile, Bitcoin and Ethereum are both hanging at 35. Honestly, I'm totally on board with this trend as we keep seeing more legislation roll out and actual utility starts driving this market. Guess what? The assets that actually do something are going to carry way more weight. It's just how the space evolves, right? And here's the exciting part. Ondo Finance, folks, we are absolutely thrilled to tell you that Ondo's OUSG fund, yeah, the one that's working with BlackRock to tokenize US treasuries right on the XRP ledger. Well, it's now the anchor for the biggest investor in Fidelity's brand new tokenized fund. We're talking about the Fidelity Digital Interest Token, or FDIC for short. Pretty incredible stuff happening here. Okay, so Fidelity just made a huge move here. And honestly, this is exactly what we've been waiting for. This is like watching traditional finance finally get it. Tokenization isn't just some crypto buzzword anymore. It's the real deal. And here's what gets me really pumped. Ondo is absolutely crushing it right now. They're not just sitting on the sidelines. They're actively pushing this whole space forward with OUSG, creating the liquidity and infrastructure we desperately need. But here's the kicker that has me genuinely excited. All of this incredible momentum is happening right on the XRP ledger. I mean, come on, how cool is that? This is absolutely huge. Like, I'm literally getting goosebumps looking at this right now. And then, oh man, this next part is just beautiful to witness. We've got another major corporation jumping on board. And when you check out these hyperscale data reports showing their total Bitcoin holdings alongside their XRP purchases, mind-blowing stuff right there. So get this, they've completely opened the floodgates now. And we're looking at $84,976.15 worth of XRP purchases. That's exactly what they've been strategically doing behind the scenes, steadily building up that corporate treasury position. And listen, this whole corporate treasury game, it's only going to explode from here. More companies, more adoption, more validation. All right, so let's dive into what Dai was saying about those weighted averages. And honestly, this is where things get really exciting. The more utility assets we see flooding the market, the more these big corporations are going to be like moths to a flame, chasing after assets that people actually use every single day. Why? Because that everyday utility is like insurance against those crazy price swings that make CFOs lose sleep at night. And speaking of game changers, check this out. We've got Ripple partnering up with Amina Bank, plus RLUSD in the mix. And guys, this screams mass adoption to me. I won't drag you through the entire video, but let me show you this killer first minute that really drives the point home. Listen to this.
Now we've crossed the chasm into mainstream adoption. We believe that chain of events has been set off. You will be impacted by what's coming, by what's happening in front of our eyes. We'd love to help people. We're here to empower people to navigate.
Give me a little bit more detail about the specifics of Amina in terms of your specialisms as a bank.
Yeah, absolutely. So we provide a full range of products and services, both on the traditional side of finance as well as digital assets. We provide our products and services to high net worth individuals, to corporates, and then to institutions. So we also have a crypto as a service offering, where institutions, be that banks or fintechs, can leverage our capabilities, particularly our core capabilities within digital assets.
Okay, so you're, in many respects, like a bridge between the traditional finance world and the crypto world, both for private clients and for institutions, I guess. Is that right?
Yes, we allow our clients to conduct their business, to solve their challenges seamlessly between the traditional financial ecosystem and the emergence of digital assets. Yeah.
There it is, people. A bridge, call it Amina, Amana, whatever floats your boat. Like my grandma used to say, potato, potato, you get the picture. But this isn't some fairy tale. This is real life unfolding right before our eyes across the entire planet. And guess what just dropped? Breaking news alert. Spain's BBVA Bank is jumping headfirst into Ripple Tech for retail digital asset custody under Europe's shiny new MiCA framework. Oh, wait. Wasn't there some loudmouth around here recently preaching that banks would never touch crypto, that they'd stick to boring old crypto services only? Yeah, about that. No, come on, wake up. Don't fall for their nonsense. They're literally just protecting their own interests here. Look at BBVA, for crying out loud. We're talking about a financial powerhouse with 840 billion in assets and 77.2 million customers worldwide. This ain't your neighborhood mom and pop shop. We're talking about 5,949 branches spread across more than 25 countries, in case you're curious about the scale here. I'm Cassie Craddock from Ripple, and honestly, this new BBVA partnership has us absolutely pumped. It's like watching dominoes fall in the best way possible. Major banks worldwide are finally jumping on the digital asset train. And you know what's driving this? Crystal clear regulations like the EU's MiCA framework, giving everyone the confidence they needed. We're beyond thrilled to bring our rock-solid institutional custody tech to power BBVA's crypto services for everyday customers. And here's where it gets really interesting, right? If BBVA, this massive bank, is choosing Ripple, what does that tell you about who else might be next? I mean, think about it. They've already built all this incredible infrastructure, this digital plumbing, if you will. Who else is going to tap into that gold mine? Now, Monica Long, she's Ripple's president, drops this truth bomb. Financial institutions are dying to offer crypto trading to their customers. And boom, That's exactly where Ripple custody swoops in to save the day. Monica's practically buzzing with excitement about taking this BVA partnership in Spain to the next level. It's like watching the future of banking unfold right before our eyes. So we're totally with you on this one. So get this. NASDAQ just filed to start trading these tokenized stocks and ETPs. And this happened literally days after the SEC put crypto trading rules on their agenda. Mind blown, right? If this gets approved, we're looking at the first ever tokenized securities trading on a US stock exchange. That's huge. Oh man, it's happening. It's really happening. But here's the $1 million question. Did they pick Ripple for this? Think about it. They're actually going to be there speaking. That's right. The NASDAQ CEO herself is showing up at Ripple's Swell event. How crazy is that? But wait, there's more. Let's listen to this even further and actually hear what the NASDAQ CEO has to say about how pumped she is about all this.
So this morning we announced that we're going to be bringing tokenization into our markets. So making sure that equities are tokenized and traded on market, in the markets, not in a side sleeve, but actually in the core markets.
So the eventual goal, or is it today, 24/7, 365, equities, just let it rip constantly?
I mean, I think we are all moving in that direction. We announced several months ago that we're moving to 24/5. So we're
24/5
moving that way.
So Saturday and Sunday,
Not for equities yet. I think that, we have to, we're walking before we run. But I think that getting to 24/5 is a major advancement for the US equities markets. And then on top of that, now with tokenization, if we can introduce that also into the markets, it allows us to really think about streamlining the post-trade processing, bringing and modernizing elements of the markets that have a lot of friction. We are hyper resilient and we're hyper scaled. We manage, like today, we had 95 billion messages come into our systems today. And we had a median, return time of 20 microseconds from order to trade. We handle like 3 million messages a second. It's hugely scaled. But then at the same time, once that trade occurs, there's a different process. And then the post-trade process, as we know, is an area where tokenization really shines. And really cutting down the friction, managing capital flows across the global ecosystem, and really bringing that capability into the markets is going to be the next.
I'm curious to get your reaction to this. There's this very famous curve, which is like you get this early font of insanity, and then there's the trough of disillusionment, and then you grow through. And does it seem like crypto is actually in blockchain? It's finally real. It's like there's real companies doing real things, stable coins, what Sachs did with the Genius Act.
Well, I actually want to point to that because, honestly, having regulators who want to work on bringing it into the mainstream and want to create the rules of the road is such a refreshing thing, because I think that it allows us all to understand how we can operate within a world where there are tenets of investor protection. The technology is going to have things we can and can't do, but also being forward-thinking and forward-leaning and how the technology is going to be applied is going to be critical. So we're very excited about the fact that we finally have this convergence of regulation between the traditional markets, the digital markets. How do we bring it all together to, frankly, advance all markets?
Absolutely. I'm totally loving this energy. And listen, when you really think about it, Adina Friedman, the NASDAQ CEO herself, is going to be up there speaking alongside Monica Long in that fireside chat at Ripple Swell. I've got to keep it real with you guys. What exactly do you think they're going to be chatting about up there? Are they seriously going to sit there and talk about using Ethereum? I mean, come on, especially when we already have all this information right in front of us. Listen to this.
And, this guy sells it to that guy. That's essentially, what the stock exchange does. So if you can have a common ledger to be able to exchange those IOUs at, then that certainly makes sense. And there's examples of Korean banks partnering with local, Bitcoin companies for the settlement. People like the IMF or World Bank or these kind of people are always talking about these sort of blockchain settlement systems. NASDAQ is involved in I think doing some trials with Ripple as well. So
now we just got to make this thing official. You know what I'm saying? Then boom, we can dive into figuring out which band we're going to land in. We're talking $4 to $250 here, people. And look, I already know what everyone's thinking. Oh yeah, let's shoot for that 250. Am I right? Trust me, I'm totally feeling that vibe too. But here's the thing, over these past 8 years, what have we actually witnessed? A gradual rollout, right? Look, I don't want to be that guy who rains on everyone's parade here because honestly, I'm gunning for that 252. But here's how I see it. Listen, I'll happily take whatever the highest price point the market throws at us. Count me in, no question. But here's what I've learned in my 8 years grinding in this space. I've watched them slowly roll things out bit by bit. So if that's how they play it, we might end up landing somewhere between that $4 and $45.00 to kick things off. And you know what? That's totally fine by me too. Look, I'm totally cool with that, but here's what I'm really pumped to see. The actual groundbreaking progress. We absolutely need to hit these price targets and way beyond. And guys, to make that happen, we've got some serious work ahead of us. First up, we need that Clarities Act passed and officially signed, period. Then we're talking about getting that strategic reserve and digital asset stockpile locked into law. Don't even get me started on those ETF approvals we're waiting for. Plus, we need that banking charter and FedMaster account sorted out. Once we check all those boxes, that's when things get absolutely insane. We'll literally watch this market flip from pure speculation mode to actual utility-driven demand. People, we're about to witness history unfold right in front of us. All right, everyone. I'll see you next time.